Hello and
No,
welcome to Totally
totally
Booked
booked
Right
right now.
Now.
Yay!
Yay! Hello, everyone. We are, I don't know, welcome to today's episode, which is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, Part 3, The House of Mist. We're doing the first half of Part 3, which is going to cover chapters 52 through 60.
There's some
I know.
hefty ones. There's so much stuff coming up. This is the penultimate. This is ultimate Sarah J. Maas style. Like end
Yes.
of the book. It is so good. So good. So excited.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not
Yeah.
getting through that whole part. But so much good stuff is about to happen.
Right.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. I
part
can't
3, a
wait.
lot of
Yeah.
stuff goes down. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, this episode's gonna be like the tamer stuff,
Yeah.
depending on what you think about tame. Anyway, all right, well, ti time's ticking. Let's get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where were we? Feyre is she's in, like, the cabin because she just found out that Rhys is her mate, and she's freaking out about it for reasons unknown. Feyre takes a bath and obviously feels better after being clean because I don't think she'd bathed since Rhys got abducted by Hybern and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Feyre realizes she hasn't eaten since the day before. Oh, right, because Rhys was injured and Feyre had gone out of her mind when he was taken from her. The word mate just keeps bouncing around Feyre's head, and she has a lot to think about / process. Why had Rhys really saved her from her wedding? To stop Feyre from making a horrible mistake or for his own ends? Because he couldn't stand to see Feyre married to another male? How about because you asked someone to save you? You literally asked for his help.
And this just calls back to he already had previously told you that if you had taken Lucian's hand when he had come and found you guys while you were training in the forest, that he would have just accepted it. It's all about your choice, Feyre. We talked about this at the end of the
Right.
last episode too. It's
Ugh.
just all about choice. And for you to think that, oh, well, maybe maybe he doesn't want me and or just he couldn't
I
stand to
know.
see me with another, but he doesn't actually like me. It's like, oh my god.
I
Yeah.
know.
Anyway.
It's just so annoying. But I guess I could see. I mean, she feels betrayed,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Yeah.
like call into question all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I can understand. I don't have to like it. Feyre also feels relief. Her relationship with Tamlin was doomed from the start. It's not Feyre's fault. She left to find her mate. Mating bond trumps everything else. Feyre just really kind of said this, like, can't get over the fact that Rhys knew and didn't tell her, which I don't think that she would have received that information.
Ex-
Well,
that's exactly my point. I just feel like she would have been in so much turmoil if she would have still been in love with Tamlin, or if she had still been
yeah.
with him when she found this information out. I think it would have just
Yeah.
she would have been like, I don't know what to do. I don't. It's like this is even worse. Now at least you're not with Tamlin, and you find this
Yeah, I
information
can't
out.
even imagine what her reaction would have been. I'm sure she would have been, like, so mad and, like,
Yes, she wouldn't have
um
accepted it then either. I don't think.
right. Or, like, maybe not believed it. And again, I just
Exactly.
don't understand why you have to tell someone they're your mate.
I
That
know. I don't
feels
like.
like it should be a mutual discovery or whatever, or like a individual type of journey that you have to go on.
Yes. Yeah. I
Um,
know.
but yeah, Farrah's like, phew, I'm not a lying piece of traitorous filth. You never were, but sure. Farrah's also realizing, like, damn, Rhys knew I was his mate and he knew I was with Tamlin and he'd kept that just, like, locked up, didn't ever let it show. Maybe he doesn't actually care.
You're
What?
wrong,
Why
Feyre.
is that? Why? Is that
Oh,
like, you're so close, you're so
oh,
close. No! And she's like, maybe he was hoping the bond would just go away.
no, no. He just
Yeah.
wanted you to start realizing that the bargain bond was not just a bargain bond.
Right.
That's what he wanted. He wanted you to figure it out on your
Yeah.
own. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe he did wish that, but I don't think, I mean, obviously you can't make the mating bond go away. So,
Right. Right.
he was probably like,
Yeah.
it would be a lot easier if I wasn't her fucking mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, Feyre barely knew Rhys and she didn't know about the bond. And therefore, she really has nothing to apologize for, like when she was in the Spring Court. Yeah, like, like what? Yeah, of course. You had no idea. And then Feyre's like, what if I had known? I don't know. She's just like really
She's going
being
back
left
and
alone with
forth.
your
She just
thoughts
can't.
right now. I don't know if that's like
Yeah.
the best. Yeah. Right. So anyway, Feyre gets to a point where she understands why Rhys didn't tell her, but she still doesn't think that excuses anything. Again, still struggling with her logic because she felt so guilty for liking Rhys, but like, ugh, you're just gonna, again, you're just like never gonna be with anyone ever again because you used to be with Tamlin. Like, people break up. Oh my fucking God.
I know that there's like a waiting period, or there's like, I don't know, a waiting period, a mourning period, whatever
Yeah.
you want to really call it. But this just like, this makes me think of Friends where it's like, how long do I have to wait to call her? And, someone says
Yeah.
2 months, someone says 2 weeks, and someone says 2 hours, right? Like it's just,
Right.
everyone has a little bit different interpretation on how long you should have to wait. But it
Yes.
doesn't matter, like, at all.
Right.
You and Tamlin were not really even in love with each other anymore.
I know. And I
Or
can see different,
ever?
yeah,
I don't know.
different scenarios, but like your relationship was already over. Like you were already checked out, ready to go.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
right.
It's probably not that deep. And we're just like having to analyze it and it's
Right.
stupid.
Right.
Feyre goes to bed. I want to go to bed. Feyre wakes up the next day and now she's mad that Mor and Amren knew and didn't tell her. And now, I know, again, it's like, okay. And now finally, Feyre thinks about how she ran away from Rhys. Oh my God, just like he expected. Just like Feyre threw in his face before. Quote, like a coward, like a fool, I'd left him injured in the freezing mud. I'd walked away from him. A day after I'd told him he was the only thing I'd never walk away from. Yes, finally. Talking shit about yourself when it comes to Rhys. You hypocrite, you liar.
Oh, I know the second things got real, you bailed. So, like, yeah, you do suck for doing that. And, like, secondly, Feyre, okay, I was just thinking about this, how she's mad that Mor and Amren didn't say anything to her. Like, I understand that she thinks they're, like, her gal pals now, and they are, like, her female friends.
Right.
However, have other people in the inner circle kind of advised you not to, I don't know, get in the middle of Mor, Cassian, and
Yeah.
Asriel? Maybe they're just doing you the kindness of not stepping into your business with Rhys
Yeah,
when they
totally.
don't need to. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes.
none of their business. Why can you? I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time when, like, couples, like, something kind of big is happening with one person, like their friends know, but
Yeah.
the significant, you know what I mean? It's not a good
Right.
feeling, but
Yeah.
it does happen, and they're
That
not.
totally makes sense. Also, I bet,
Yes.
like if they ever talked about Reese, she was probably like complaining about him and being a bit versus like more. I think I might like
She
Reese.
never.
And then more could be
Yeah.
like, you know what? I
Yes.
have some
Yeah.
good news
You
for you.
should.
Like, I'm
Oh,
sure that was
right?
never the topic
I
of
know.
conversation. So yeah,
Yes.
Feyre, she dipped right after the first real test of honesty with Rhys. Feyre hadn't even listened to him or let him have a chance to try to explain. Whoopsie, maybe she made a mistake. Oh my God. I was like, please be the turning point where you stop being fucking annoying all the time.
Fingers crossed.
Feyre is starting to get bored also at the house. Turns out isolating yourself in a remote cabin with just your thoughts, not that much fun. Feyre snoops through the entire cabin, which, same, I would have done the same. Looks in all the drawers and stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff she finds seems to just solidify the cabin is a family home, not your typical High Lord's retreat. And Feyre finds paints and all the fixins, canvases, brushes, pastels, watercolors, etc. And she paints all day, all through the night, and all the next day until Mor comes back. She knocks on the door. Feyre isn't sure if she's relieved or disappointed that it's not Rhys. Mor looks at all of Feyre's paintings, which cover nearly every surface of the main room, mostly floral things, but also pieces of the inner circle. So there's like Illyrian wings, Mor's hair, Amren's eyes. Mor wants Feyre to paint her eyes too, like Mor's eyes. So when the boys come up here to drink and mess around, both Amren and Mor will be watching them. Uh, no news from Feyre's sisters, and Feyre finally gets up the courage to ask about Rhys. He's still recovering, but like he's mostly fine. He's probably like the saddest pants emo
Oh
boy,
my
though.
gosh. I can't imagine. So sad. Poor Reese.
Feyre thanks Mor for keeping her location a secret, and Mor tells Feyre that she should hear Rhys out, though. Like, give him a chance. Feyre's already decided to do that, but she doesn't share with Mor. Feyre then asks how Mor's visit to the Court of Nightmares was, and Mor's, quote, face went uncharacteristically pale. What else did you do?
I know.
Why
He
is
just
that your reaction?
especially, like, now going through and reanalyzing, like, every single thing that happens, Moore's like, she's a little
Yeah,
suspect of
she
everything she
is.
does. And you
Mm-hmm.
really she's sneaky. She's sneaky. Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Sneaky, sneaky Mor.
mhm.
Mor's dad is still healing, and she implies that she hurt him further while there, for whatever reason. Mor tells Feyre that Rhys wouldn't care if Mor went on a killing rampage, but she doesn't feel like it right now. She just holds it over like her family's head and stuff. Cassian and Azriel would also be happy to kill, 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 just like in Dungeon Crawler Carl. Maybe Mor will let them do it as a solstice present one day. Then Feyre continues to pry and asks if Mor and Azriel have ever hooked up. She's like, no. First of all, Mor swore off all of Rhys's friends about 500 years ago. Second of all, Azriel doesn't think he's good enough for Mor, so even if she wanted to sleep with him, he would never agree. And Feyre keeps pushing. She's like, so you don't want to at all? Like, maybe a little bit? And Mor demands to know why Feyre is asking these things. Like, she kind of gets, like, riled. And Feyre's just
Mhm.
like, I'm just curious. Like, calm down.
Like, I can see the tension, so I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole thing I see, we were talking about more being sneaky. So I really think that this is just a Sarah J. Maas setup. Listen, this is just a little preview of one of my theories for the characters of
Okay,
this
yeah.
book. Okay.
Give it to
So
me.
Azriel is not pining after Mor. He's keeping a very close eye on her for other reasons. He is the spy master of the Night Court for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He may even be making Mor think that he's pining after her when really he's not. Like, I think that could be
Yeah.
something going on. One important thing that, like, just to note here is Mor says, we have 5 centuries of tangled history for you to sort through. So good luck. Like, she's telling Feyre, like, when Feyre's, like, still kind of pushing all this, like, Mor kind of gives her
Mm-hmm.
this comment about how,
Yeah.
we've known each other for 500 years, which makes me think that it hasn't always been like sunshine and rainbows between the inner circle, or maybe specifically like Mor and
Right.
Azriel or Mor and Cassian. Like, 500 years to be friends with someone and not have them piss you off at some point is a
I
really
was
long
just gonna say. I know. I was like, that's a long time.
time.
A lot of
Yeah.
stuff can happen in 500 years.
Hmm.
So, Feyre finishes painting Mor's eyes, and then Mor also has Feyre add Cassian and Azrael's eyes afterward. And then Mor is like, is it so bad to be Rhys's mate? To be a part of our family? Right. Like, what are we doing
Exactly.
here?
Come on.
And Feyre has decided, no, it is not. Yay. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
idiot.
Yeah, I know.
So Mor stays the night. She leaves after breakfast. Feyre looks out at the wide expanse surrounding the house and sees herself here in the summer, living it up, then back in Velaris, finally walking through the artist quarter, and maybe one day she'll open her own little shop, teach people to paint. People who are broken like Feyre and are trying to get better. She wants to become a paint therapist.
When she was describing this, I had this like weird vision of like a hippie Feyre wearing 30 scarves and just telling people to paint what they feel. Like,
Yeah.
just throw it on the canvas.
There's no rules. She's like
Yeah.
Professor Trelawney.
Yes.
All of her
That's
beads. Yeah.
some big old,
Giant glasses.
yeah, buses. Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, Feyre would go home after being a paint therapist, exhausted but fulfilled to her little family, and most importantly, Rhysand. Feyre is seeing a whole future, a direction, a goal, and an invitation to see what else immortality might offer her.
I loved this little tidbit of her, like thinking of her future in this way, because we're finally seeing her accept and actually want a future. Like, she's been so depressed and sad
Mm-hmm.
through this whole book. Like, she hasn't really cared if she lived or died. Like, she wasn't taking care of herself.
Yeah.
She was clearly depressed. We talked about this. And just what a difference it was when she would talk about like the future she thought about with Tamlin. It was very sad and depressing in that she would have no fulfillment, and she's looking at this future that she thinks that she would have with Rhys and the inner circle and in the night court, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a much better comparison and revelation for her. It was
Yeah.
needed for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, really, it's not, has it even been 6 months since she left Under the Mountain? So, I mean, like,
Right.
this is like she's doing pretty good. That's not very
Yes.
long.
No, thank you.
Um,
But I'm so proud of you, Feyre.
yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
Like, yay, you're
right.
coming
Good,
along.
good
Good job.
job. Feyre knows now what she has to do. 5 more days pass, and Feyre paints every room in the cottage. But Feyre is done now, and she's over being alone with her thoughts. This quote, thankfully, Moore returned that night, banging on the door, thunderous and impatient. Except when Feyre opens the door, it's not Moore, it's Rhys! Yay! Of course, Moore would never bang on the door like that. What are you,
No,
crazy?
come on.
Yeah, Rhys flew all the way from the Illyrian camp once he figured out where Feyre must be hiding, since he still can't winnow or his magic will be tracked. Rhys waits patiently in the threshold until Feyre relents and lets him inside. And Feyre's like, Rhys has sacrificed so much and doesn't feel like it's enough. I wonder if he doesn't feel like he's enough for me. You think? Are you new?
Also, like, both of you, and your self-loathing is just,
Right,
you
right,
were
right.
made for each other on that front,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's very
I
true.
mean, at least, Reese has got some stuff that's coming up that's gonna make more sense. However,
Mm-hmm.
you were made for each other in that boat.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. You two deserve each other. Good job.
Mhm.
Rhys is so relieved to be let in, and then he notices right away that Feyre painted everyone else's eyes in the cabin, but not his eyes. Feyre was afraid to paint Rhys's eyes because at first she was so mad at him for not telling her about the mating bond, and then because she was worried maybe she likes Rhys and he might not feel the same way. Oh my god!
Woosah.
And then I know, because maybe she'd just stare at those eyes all day and wish Rhys was there. Reese is all healed now, and Feyre goes to the kitchen to make him some soup. Record scratch. Feyre's gonna make Rhysand food? Feyre's like, tell me the rules. What am I missing? Turns out, a female offering her male mate food means that the female accepts the bond. Feyre tells Rhys to tell her the whole story from the beginning, and maybe when he's done, he'll get his soup.
I really hate that she told him maybe here. Uh,
Yeah,
she's already thinking about what this future is going to look like with him. But
right. Like, and
yeah,
she's being spiteful. It's like, you
yeah,
made your decision. Okay.
I know.
But here it comes. The exposition dump of exposition dumps. We fucking love it. And it's all
Oh
from
my
Rhysand's
God,
point
it's
of
so
view.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Many moons ago. All right. Rhys was captured by Amarantha's army during the war and was held for weeks while his warriors were tortured and killed. Rhys had ash bolts put through his wings, and those same chains that were used like the other night in the forest were used to nullify his magic.
I cried when he described like his warriors being tortured and killed in front of him while he just was like
Yeah.
staked through, like he was chained up and staked and had to watch the whole thing. It was horrible. It was
Yeah.
very sad. And because they nullified his powers, he couldn't like brain smush them so they wouldn't
I
feel it
know.
or
It's like
experience it and stuff.
so, yeah, like
Ugh,
frustrating too.
yucky. Yeah.
So through all of this, all that horror, Rhys never broke or revealed where the Night Court forces were. Cassian and Azrael didn't know Rhys was captured since they were in a different legion. Amarantha didn't care about Rhys. You've seen one High Lord's son, seen them all. Plus, Jurian had just killed Clythea, so Amarantha was obsessed with her revenge on Jurian. Meanwhile, Rhys was all chained up, plotting Amarantha's death. Rhys was ready to die to achieve this goal and wait for more Cassian and Azrael in the fairy heaven. I know, it's so sad. But Jurian called dibs, and Rhys had to watch Jurian and Amarantha face off in battle. Except Jurian sucks, he can't do anything right, got his eye and finger ripped off, and then was dragged back to Amarantha's camp where she tortured him for days and days. We know Amarantha, that silly Amarantha. Once she sets her mind to something, she's laser focused. So she didn't even notice Rhys's daddy coming to fuck up her shit. In the chaos, Amarantha killed Jurian rather than see him freed. And Rhys was rescued, but his dad punished him for being captured.
I mean, we talked about how much Tamlin's dad sucked. Reese's dad was not great either. He was a jerk. And he
Right.
kept
Yeah.
Rhys and Cassian and Azrael separate. I mean, we kind of talked about this before. Like, did he split them up for military, like, was it a scheme and a planning thing to
Strategy or
keep
whatever.
the best ones separated? Or, yeah, but
Yeah.
still. He's junk.
Yeah, totally. It's like, be happy that your one and only heir is alive still. Like,
I
what?
know.
Um, the ash spikes were left in Rhys's wings, and his wings were so damaged that Rhys couldn't fight in the final battles of the war. So the treaty was made, the wall was built, and the Fey world was changed. Everyone was changed. Cassian and Azrael came back different. Rhysand came back different. I think of Tommy Shelby coming back from World War One when like Aunt whatever his aunt's name was, she was like, Tommy used to smile all the time. Like he never smiles anymore. Stop it. Stop it right now.
So sad. Oh my God.
Ugh. So the boys came to this cabin so Rhys could convalesce and be mad at the injustices of the world. Amarantha and the King of Hybern were not punished, right? It was like too much
Oh, well.
whatever, killing already. But Rhys's motto is never forgive, never forget, baby. So neither of those mofos was getting off the hook. When Amarantha came back to Prythian 100 years ago, Rhys still wanted to kill her. Amarantha, though, didn't even know who Rhys was. What?
Literally how? If you,
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to look up some fan art of what Rhysand looks like. And I want to know how you would know what who he was.
Right.
I don't care if it's been
And if
400
nothing,
years.
yeah. I mean, like,
I
if
would not
nothing
forget
else, though, you would know that, like,
who he was.
Then
He was
yeah, like the son of the Night Court High Lord was my prisoner, and like
you
that was the
are
last thing that happened to me before, you know, like I got
yeah.
ruined in the war or whatever. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Amarantha didn't remember Rhys was the one she captured during the war. For whatever reason, to her, Rhys was just the son of the High Lord who killed her BFF, Tamlin's dad. Tamlin was the only other High Lord that mistrusted Amarantha, so Rhys felt confident that she hadn't actually changed, despite her little sob story she was peddling around to the other courts. So, Operation Kill Amarantha is a go. Rhys went to the party under the mountain that Amarantha was throwing to celebrate the trade agreement with Hybern. His plan was to get her drunk, infiltrate her mind, reveal all her crimes and lies, and then liquefy her brains. So simple. But Amarantha was one step ahead. She had formidable mental shields, and Rhys's drink was drugged. As Rhys's powers were being stripped away, he flung them out one last time, wiping Velaris, the wards, etc., from the minds of the Court of Nightmare's subjects that were with him. Rhys shielded all of Velaris, bound the inner circle to the city so they couldn't leave without the protections collapsing, and communicated with them mind to mind to fill them in and tell them to stay away. Amarantha killed half the Court of Nightmares right then and there, just because. And she wanted to make a point about Tamlin's father. Rhys was like, okay, fuck that. I will do anything to keep this evil bitch away from Velaris and the things that I love. Amarantha kept paying attention to Rhys, like power move stuff. And Rhys, what she wanted, he was like, I'm going to give it to her. And he was such a good actor. She kept coming back for more and thought that Rhys enjoyed it too.
Ugh. So gross. He even goes on to say that, like, with what power he still did have, he made her think that they were both enjoying it more than they actually were. It was all like a ploy to, like, kind of keep her distracted and kind of keep himself in her good graces. He was really playing the long game to, like, earn her trust, but ugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh. Disgusting. Yeah.
It is horrible.
Mhm.
Then Tamlin got all cursed, and Rhys's other great enemy became the loophole that might free them all. Over time, Amarantha started to trust Rhys more than her other minions, especially since he could read minds and squish them and stuff. He was valuable. He says after a decade, he stopped expecting to see his friends or his people again. He forgot what their faces looked like, and he stopped hoping. So sad.
So sad. Rhys. Oh my God.
But 3 years ago, Rhys began to have dreams. At first, they were just foggy glimpses every few months, like a crackling hearth, a bale of hay in a barn, a warren of rabbits, until one image of a hand came through. A beautiful human hand painting flowers on a table. When Rhys saw that image, he pushed an image back. An image of the thing that brought him joy when he needed it most. The night sky, stars, the moon. Feyre is reeling. I have chills. Okay, as are we. We know. Those stars are what she painted on her dresser drawer back in her hovel.
I sobbed through this whole reveal because I felt so bad for everything that Rhys endured and just everything else after. My poor baby, I just love him so much. I can't. Yeah.
This is when we love a man's point of view. Rhys, he treasured those dreams. They reminded him that there was some peace out in the world, some light. These dreams continued until a year ago when Rhys jolted awake from a clearer and brighter dream. It was like that fog had been wiped away. Feyre was on the other side of the wall. She was in Prythian. Rhys was in Feyre's dream, or, well, her nightmare. He says it was about a woman slitting Feyre's throat while she was being chased by the bog. And I was a little, okay, this is mentioned in our Court of Thorns of Roses episodes, because shout out to Cammie, you were like, a shadow? So I think that was like episode 1. And I went back to look, and there were a few dreams Feyre has that she mentions the shadow watching her. It's kind of like one sentence of like a montage, kind of like, I keep having dreams, and the shadow's always there. But the first one with the shadow, she talks, it's like about her killing Andres, not about the bog. And so I was like, but wait, okay, maybe Rhys was, but so, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
like
he was in her dream, but
I know, and I think
he doesn't
that, like,
remember that one.
Right. Or just that, like, he was still, like, when she was in the mortal realm, and there were times where that came up, or when he was getting those visions, I think it was hard for him to tell, like, what was a dream, what was her own dreams that she was experiencing, like, what, what was real and what wasn't. I also think that we only hear about the shadow once we meet Feyre. And so she doesn't, like, explicitly say that she noticed the shadow in her dreams before, but we also know that he was there because he had pushed the images of the night sky, like that kind of stuff. So I think that I think that it was just kind of a weird, like, it was a mind to mind connection that neither of them were fully aware of. So even, like, sometimes when she was dreaming, like, maybe some of her weird nightmares that you just don't remember were part of his, or vice versa. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Other option is Sarah J. Maas needs to hire me as her copy editor, because I don't let shit like that slide. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Anyway. Okay, so Rhys kept seeing Feyre through her dreams, but he couldn't narrow down where she was actually, like, in Prythian, because her nightmares included creatures from all the courts. And we remember Amarantha was sending all these creatures from all over Prythian into the Spring Court, apparently. So Rhys would wake up with Feyre's scent in his nose, be haunted, follow him around all day. Then one night, Feyre's dream included the Calanmai bonfires, and Rhys realized she must be in the Spring Court, because that's where Calanmai is, like, the biggest deal. So Rhys was able to convince Amarantha to let him attend Calanmai under the guise of spying on Tamlin and seeing if anyone showed up wishing to conspire with Tamlin. 7 times 7 years was almost up, and Amarantha was starting to get a little paranoid and restless. Rhys could smell Feyre when he arrived at the Spring Court. He found Feyre right when she was being dragged away by the rapey fairies and swooped in with the iconic line, which we all know and love. There you are. I've been looking for you. Talk about catharsis. He wasn't just saying that. It wasn't a lie. He really meant it.
The best callback line in all of literature. Okay, that's aggressive for me to say, but my God, I love it so much.
Yes, yeah. It's a good feeling. Okay, so Feyre looked at Rhys, and he could tell she had no idea who he was. Feyre was just a weak little baby human, and Rhys knew he had to get out of there quickly before someone saw them together and reported back to Amarantha. But as Rhys started to walk away, Feyre called him back, like she just couldn't help it. Danger, danger. And Rhys knew he could never speak to Feyre, see her, or think of her again.
Rhys.
In order to protect Feyre, Rhys didn't want to know anything about her. Seeing Feyre in his dreams was one thing, but seeing her in person, he thinks deep down, even then, he realized she was his mate. Quote, and I didn't let myself admit it, because if there was the slightest chance that you were my mate, they would have done such unspeakable things to you, Feyre.
This sentence gave me the chills. I cannot.
Yeah.
Oh
I also love when people use someone else's name to, like, emphasize things, right? Like, he could have just said they would have done such unspeakable things to you, but they would have done such unspeakable things to you, Feyre. Like,
Feyre.
it hits different. Okay.
It does.
Rhys is all, or was all, let's look on the bright side. At least I got to see her this one time. And Rhys found those 3 rapey fairies and altered their minds / life histories, brought them before Amarantha. They confessed to being traitors, and Amarantha tortured them, and Rhys liked it. They deserved it. Also, What Amarantha did to those fairies would have paled in comparison to what he would have done to Feyre. Feyre is remembering all the things Rhys has said to her in the past related to these events. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. It's all making sense.
The pieces are fitting. Rhys goes on to say he didn't know Feyre was with Tamlin or that she was actually staying in the spring court. And so when he was sent back by Amarantha after the summer solstice, because he'd, quote, done such a good job on Calanmai, the irony, talk about a gut punch when Feyre was revealed. Not only was she living with Rhys's second worst enemy, she was clearly in love with him, or at least she thought she was. Rhys was like, yeah, he's like, okay, this is serious. Time to put the fear of the god, the cauldron, into these people. Rhys broke into Feyre's mind and held it so Feyre felt it and was afraid. I felt like this was important because we've talked about this before, how Rhys can probably break into people's minds and they probably like they don't know, but him hurting Feyre is just to be like mean or let her know that he was there.
Well, and just to scare everybody. Her,
right.
Tamlin, Lucien, just scare them all to get Feyre out of there, which ouch.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah.
So then he was trying to, I mean, in all honesty, Rhys, so Tamlin thought he did the right thing by sending her home to the human realm and to not, you know, try to break the curse by her telling him he loves her, which we've already talked about this. That was stupid. But the rest of the story would not have happened this way if she wouldn't have done that. So fine.
Right.
But
yeah.
but also like Rhys was like sacrificing himself to get his mate as far away from, you know what I mean? Like that's why he went and he scared her because he wanted to get her out of Prythian.
Yes.
Because of the situation she was in. Yeah. So.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because Rhys, he says he could only hope that he scared Tamlin enough for him to send Feyre away. Because if Feyre broke the curse, Amarantha would have found Feyre and killed her. Good job. It did work. Tamlin sends her away. Although, we talked about this too, maybe Tamlin could have killed Amarantha if the curse was broken. Rhys could have. Hello. Okay.
Right.
So Rhys couldn't help himself, though, at the spring court, and he asked Feyre for her name, and he knew she lied to him when she gave him Claire's name. And so then Rhys left and threw up. When Feyre throws up, I'm annoyed. When Rhys throws up, I'm like, oh my God, he's poor little baby. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because poor Rhys. I know.
Yeah. So sad. So Rhys was there when Amarantha's minions sacked the manor so he could check that Feyre was really gone, and he told Amarantha the name he was given. Rhys thought the name was completely made up, so when Claire was dragged under the mountain, that was a little awkward. Rhys broke into Claire's mind, took away her pain, and told Claire to scream when expected. I was like, I'm glad Claire was not in pain, but also this kind of just makes it horrifying and disturbing on a different level to like
I know.
Claire having like a clear head the whole time and like, I don't know, just being totally with it and knowing that you're gonna die. You know what I mean? And just like the body horror of all of that.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Obviously, like being in pain would be worse, but
I know it's almost like I hope that it wasn't explained this way, but like when you pointed this out, I was like, for her sake, that I hope that it almost was like almost a complete mind takeover, so that you know, so that he was just it was almost like a puppet master situation, like that she wasn't actually like aware.
Okay,
Hopefully, you know what I mean, or almost like
yeah.
feeding her some different visions of what was happening versus what actually, you know what I mean? Like there's like so many ways to think about it, but it's just so yucky. I know. Yucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So after a week, Rhys couldn't take it anymore, and he killed Claire with his mind. This obviously still haunts Rhys, along with all the other deaths he's responsible for. Rhys is crying right now as he's telling this story. 2 tears slide down his cheeks. After Claire's death, Rhys was like, phew, glad that's over with. Feyre is far away. Amarantha thinks she's dead. Velaris is safe. And Tamlin lost. Suck it, Tamlin. Everything's cool. But then Rhys was in the throne room when the Adder dragged Feyre in. God damn it. Quote, and I have never known such horror, Feyre, as I did when I watched you make that bargain. Just cried this whole chapter.
I know the true fear that he had to have felt. Like, oh my God, poor Rhys. I mean, he just talked about like his ultimate fear was just he knew the unspeakable things that they would have done to her. She
Yeah.
doesn't have like as much of a reaction to this, or at least, I mean, like Rhys just he keeps going through and like kind of telling his story. So we're not getting a whole lot of
Mhm.
internal reaction from Feyre necessarily
Right,
while this
yeah.
is happening, but it is just
Mhm.
absolutely chilling to me. Like we saw very little of what Amarantha did, and I think
Yeah.
there was so much worse that woulda
Right. Sounds like
happened.
Feyre
So
kinda got off easy in the grand scheme of
yeah,
things to do these
exactly.
trials and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rhys had to deal with Feyre's looks of hatred toward him, etc., under the mountain, but Rhys also finally got to learn her real name. Quote, "Hearing you say it, it was like an answer to a question I've been asking for 500 years." Ah, but also, he's 500 years old and she's 20. It's gross.
I know. I know. I don't love it,
Don't think
but,
about
you know.
it. Okay. Rhys decided then and there that he was all in, baby. Feyre had a shot to defeat Amarantha, and Rhys was going to use every trick in the book to help her achieve that. After Feyre was hurt by the worm, Rhys found his opening. The bargain he made with Feyre was a way to defy Amarantha, spread hope to those who knew how to read the message. It was a way to keep Feyre alive without being too suspicious. And bonus, get back at Tamlin.
Rhys is just the planner of all planners, the schemer of all schemers. He's playing chess.
Mhm.
Everyone else is out there playing checkers. He's just
Yeah. You're,
so on.
you're playing checkers. I'm fucking your
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Also, yes, he is Dumbledore, the puppet master.
Mhm. Mhm.
Feyre was so mad about the bargain that Rhys knew he was playing his part well. And so Rhys dressed Feyre all sexy so Amarantha wouldn't suspect anything. He got Feyre drunk on fairy wine so she wouldn't remember. We've said this before. He's helping her
No, it's
out.
just he just was. He was saving her from all the horrible memories that she could have, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, and then that last night under the mountain, Rhys was jealous of Feyre and Tamlin making out. Also, Rhys was pissed that Tamlin used those moments not to try to get Feyre out, but to be with Feyre. We said that before too. Tamlin, you selfish, useless, cowardly asshole.
I'm so glad Reese is on our side about this because
Mm-hmm.
Tamlin's a twat. I can't imagine I can't imagine though how much Reese wanted to break character and help her more than he did under the mountain.
Yeah,
Like I can't
totally.
imagine how much more he would have wanted to do and how much he probably suffered from what he did do to protect her.
Yeah.
Reese.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I know. In that what chamber at the end
Mhm.
when Rhys kissed Feyre to cover up the Tamlin makeout, Amarantha for
Mhm.
the first time saw and understood what was actually up. Rhys was jealous, and so she did make Rhys service her and tried to get answers out of him. But he was able to convince her Feyre was just human garbage to him, etc., 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 etc.
Ugh,
Yucky. It's
so gross.
gross.
Yeah.
And afterward, Rhys just wanted to see Feyre, and that's why he came to her cell to be comforted. He wanted to confess everything, but he couldn't shatter the illusion. It was too risky. But when Amarantha started torturing Feyre at the end, something snapped, and he could no longer abide. Rhys knew then that Feyre was his mate that was in love with Tamlin and who had sacrificed everything to save Tamlin. But Rhys didn't care. If Feyre was going to die, Rhys was going to die with her. The yearning. I can't. Reese is crying now.
And I'm a
Tammy's
sobbing mess.
crying.
Oh my
Yeah, we're
god.
all crying. um, yeah, Reese is crying as he says he felt Feyre die. Quote, and this beautiful, wonderful thing that had come into my life, this gift from the cauldron, it was gone. In my desperation, I clung to that bond. Not the bargain. The bargain was nothing. The bargain was like a cobweb. LOL.
I know. I mean, about
Yeah.
the bargain bond part, like, duh, that was like
Yeah, yeah,
nothing.
yeah. It's so
But
sad, but you are like,
but also like for Feyre to keep telling people it was the bargain bond that I felt like that had to
Mhm.
be one strong ass. I bet everyone was looking at her like,
I mean, they
okay,
all bought it, I guess. Not maybe not the Velaris people, but
right, that's true. But
but
gosh,
yeah. Yes, we do like confirmation that the bargain is a cobweb and it's nothing. Uh, Rhys grabbed the bond and tugged, willing Feyre to hold on. Rhys knew with the 7 High Lords all together, they could bring Feyre back. Rhys didn't care if he had to slice into all their minds to do it. He'd make them save her. Feyre remembers what she told the bone carver. Home was at the end of the bond, but it wasn't what she thought. Home was Rhysand. After Amarantha died, Rhys spoke to the other High Lords mind to mind, and they agreed to share their sparkles. I guess pause really quick. Like, I guess makes sense. Like, I was always like, they gave you your sparkles on purpose, like willingly,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, I guess they kind of did, but I can see why. Tamlin was talking about they would be mad if they knew that you had their powers. Maybe they
Mhm.
weren't 100% just doing that out
Or
of the goodness of their hearts.
like it
Reese
like I
convinced
think
them
that
to.
yes, I think he convinced them. I think maybe even like he doesn't expressly say it, but like guilt trip them a little
Mhm.
bit. Like
I mean,
she
he said
just
he would
saved
make
us.
he would have made them
Yes.
do it. Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
So
Yeah.
probably some guilt tripping in there, or maybe some
Mhm.
forceful mind nudges
Right,
from
right, right,
him.
right.
So maybe they didn't
Yes.
fully know what they gave up if he was
Right,
like
exactly.
pushing it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, which is interesting.
mhm.
Then Rhys had to watch as Tamlin held and kissed Feyre. When Rhys and Feyre talked right before he left the mountain, he wanted to tell her that she was his mate, but she was so sad and tired, and she was looking at Rhys like he was worth something. So Rhys promised himself the next time he saw Feyre, he would free her of the bargain. But selfishly, he wanted to wait because he knew if he didn't, Tamlin would lock Feyre up and he'd never get to see her again. 100% accurate.
Yep.
That is what would have
Yeah.
happened.
That's yeah.
Rhys thinks Feyre being turned into a Fae is what made the bond lock into place permanently. It hit him so strongly right before he winnowed away. He stumbled. He had to get out of there quickly, or else he knew he'd take Feyre with him, and then she'd hate him forever. When Rhys landed in the Night Court, Mor was there, and he immediately told her everything. For the 3 months afterward, Rhys tried to stay away. He tried to convince himself that Feyre was better off without him. She was not.
Nope. Nope.
Rhys could feel her through the bond. He could feel Feyre's loneliness, her pain, her sadness. Feyre was struggling to escape Amarantha's darkness, just like Rhys was. Quote, I heard you were going to marry him, and I told myself you were happy. I should let you be happy, even if it killed me. Even if you were my mate, you'd earn that happiness. Screaming, crying, throwing up. Rhys.
Reese, you are just the best. You're just the best. Okay. If this entire chapter does not tell you why he is my number one book boyfriend,
Yeah.
Exhibit
Yeah.
A. Yeah. Ugh.
So good. The wedding day came and Rhys felt it. Feyre's panic, despair, and her frantic pleas, begging someone, anyone, to save her. Say less, Feyre. Rhys winnowed right there. And, quote, barely remembered who I was supposed to be, the part I was supposed to play. And there was Feyre, pale, thin, dressed in her stupid, ugly wedding dress, Feyre. And Rhys knew he had to call in the bargain to get her out. Just once, to see if Feyre was all right. Rhys did not want to send her back. It killed him. Not just knowing she was wasting away or knowing she was sharing Tamlin's bed, but because he knew he was in love with Feyre. Had known since he picked up the knife to kill Amarantha. And when Feyre finally came to the Night Court, Rhys decided not to tell her. Again, fair choice.
But how difficult had to it have been for him? Remember earlier in the
Right.
book when he was kind of being mean to her, like when she first started coming to the Night Court, he really was just trying to get a reaction out of her to like prove to himself and to her that
Yeah.
there was something left.
Mm-hmm.
And it was killing him to have her there, I think, and like not be able to be with her the way he wanted to. I think that's why he left a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he probably did
Right,
have
right.
other business that he really did have to attend to. He had been gone for 50 years. He probably was busy,
Yeah.
but I do think that that's part of, it's so much. And he just wanted to be with her so badly, but she hated him, the
Right,
whole
right, right.
time. He didn't
Yeah.
deserve it. He just didn't deserve it. I love him so much.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. So Rhys decided not to let Feyre out of the bargain. And Feyre's hatred was better than the other alternatives. Quote, that you felt nothing for me, or that you might feel something similar. And if I let myself love you, you would be taken from me, the way my family was, the way my friends were. so, so Rhys Just living in purgatory until the day Tamlin locked Feyre up. Rhys would have killed Tamlin if he had been there, but he still broke some pretty serious rules by taking Feyre away. And if Rhys could get Feyre to admit they were mates, that would literally solve all problems. But he didn't want to force the bond on Feyre or try to seduce her into it. Right. Totally understandable. Even in the best circumstances, to want her to come to that decision by herself.
Exactly. He wanted her to love him on her own without the pressure of the bond. This man.
Yeah, 100%. Another quote, but I couldn't stop being around you and loving you and wanting you. I still can't stay away. Okay, the end. That's the end of Rhys's story. We're all caught up. The soup is boiling, so Feyre carries a bowl over to Rhys and stops in front of him. You love me? She asks. Rhys nods. Feyre puts the bowl of soup in front of Rhys and tells him to eat. Yay!
If I was a Victorian woman, I would have suffered a spell from this pure love declaration.
We're in hysterics over here.
Yes.
Rhys eats all of his soup in silence. Good soup.
Oh, good soup.
Yeah. I love too that he's like eating it and he's just like keeps watching Feyre the whole time. Like
really slow. Like, is she going to change her mind? Is she going to take this away from me? What's happening?
Yeah. Then he asks Feyre if she's going to say anything. Feyre sits in Rhys's lap and tells Rhys that she loves him. He's crying again. A single tear falls down his cheek. The tear gets me.
It is. If a man is so overcome that it is just the one single tear, yes, it gets me every time. It's an amazing micro trope. I freaking love it. And then I was like thinking of Ilya with his one single tear.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I have a wedding picture of Jared, one single tear as I'm walking down the aisle. I know.
You know what? I would legitimately cry if I saw that. I can't handle it. Other people's weddings. It could be total strangers. I'm going to bawl. Okay. So
yeah, I love a good wedding photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feyre brushes the tear away and says, quote, I want you to know that I am broken and healing, but every piece of my heart belongs to you. And I am honored to be your mate. Rhys wraps his arms around Feyre and he's just sobbing, crying.
He needed to hear this so bad. Yes, she just gave him soup, but that could have meant that she was just accepting the mating bond. But the fact that she also loves him and wants to be his mate, oh my God, it's everything that he wanted.
All his dreams.
I know.
Feyre says, I love you again, and that she'd go through it all again to get to this moment. So they'll face everything that's about to come together, and they won't be parted. Feyre kisses the tears off Rhys's face, which is a sweeter mirror to Rhys licking her tears off in the cell under the mountain. This is like sweet and intimate, and he licked her tears off. That was like hedonistic. Like,
right.
Shock value. Feyre tells Rhys, you're mine. We love an inverted you're mine trope. Everyone is just incandescently happy. They have a sweet, gentle kiss, but all it takes is one little noise from Feyre and 0 to 60. They have sex. A lot. This is chapter 55, by the way.
In case nobody has ever heard about this chapter in its infancy.
Seriously. Yeah. I know. I remember the first time I was reading this, Jared and I were out at dinner, and I was like, okay, I want to go home and read my book because I'm almost to chapter 55, and I know that's the chapter where they bone. I was like, I want to get home.
I got to get there. Yeah.
Yes. I will go through some highlights. They have sex on the table in the kitchen on top of all of Feyre's paints, which is only sexy in a fictional world.
Yeah, amen to that. Sounds sticky and messy and not in the good way, you know?
And like where you have magic to clean it up. Yeah, not the good way. Okay, Rhys makes good on his promise to spread Feyre out on the table. I know he just had soup, but he needs dessert. Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Rhys kneels on the stars and mountains inked on his knees. Yes.
I mean, we've said it before, but a man on his knees. Oh yeah.
Chef's kiss. Yeah. Chef's kiss. Rhys tells Feyre, you are mine, but he snarls it. Carries Feyre to a bed. Feyre wants to be fucked against the wall, but she's getting the bed for now. Rhys's wings are out. I'm not going to talk about that. You know that gives me the ick. they keep saying you're mine over and over. Rhys says, I love you, etc. Feyre thinks, quote, my friend through many dangers, my lover who had healed my broken and weary soul, my mate who had waited for me against all hope despite all odds, which is sweet. But also I had to include this because I can't hear the line, my friend through many dangers, and not think of Gandalf saying it to Shadowfax in the Lord of the Rings movie.
I know that one line. I was like,
yeah. I was like, what? Is that a copyright error? Like, you can't just say that. Doing it is also like sealing their mating bond. And when Rhys comes, he causes an avalanche, basically, which made me laugh. It's like, oh my fucking God.
He did say that his roar would bring down a mountain, so prophecy fulfilled. Okay.
I cannot. And now it's pillow talk confession time. Rhys tells Feyre when he thinks he first fell in love with her, and it was when she was building the trap for the worm. Yes, when she was covered in poop. That's also when I fell in love with Feyre.
This was just really weird to me, and I think that he's trying to make it sound like she had qualities within herself that like reminded him of his best friends, but he like weirdly specifically talks about how he's like, in that moment, I wanted to introduce you to Cassian. I knew that you and him would like really hit it off and that Cassian would be really impressed. And then Cassian was really impressed by her. Right. Like it was the first thing he talked to her about. So I was like, oh, that's actually funny. Yeah. That I'm like, oh, he really does know, you so well. And like, it was kind of it just was really funny.
Yes.
To me, so.
Yeah. Hey, Rhys, whatever floats your boat. Or maybe it was when Feyre flipped Rhys off for mocking her. She was never afraid of Rhys. That's maybe when he fell in love with her. They get in the bathtub since they're all covered in paint. Feyre tells Rhys she thinks she was falling in love with him for a while, but she knew on Starfall, or came close to knowing, and was so scared of it that I didn't want to look closer. I was a coward. You were. Thank you for saying that out loud.
There's some true logical self-reflection that just happened, Feyre. Way to go, babe. I'm so proud of you.
So proud of you. Feyre reassures Rhys that her cowardice about admitting that she was in love with him had nothing to do with Rhys. Feyre has never been afraid of the consequences of being with him. Rhys is worth it. And then Feyre's like, so what do we do now? And Rhys says it's up to Feyre. They can go back to Velaris and have the bond verified by a priestess and be declared officially mated. They could have a small party to celebrate, or a large party, either or. They could also get married, be husband and wife, as well as mates. or they can do none of those things. They're mated and there's no take backsies, so no rush to decide. Feyre's like, that is so nice. I was talking about the war and all that.
That was really funny. It was so cute. Yeah. Like, we're mated. She's just like, okay, but like, we've got some other
immediate
going
on.
on. Yeah. We've got some other shit going on right now. We gotta figure out. Yeah.
Yes. So it turns out the queens have finally sent word. So they're all going back to Feyre's family estate tomorrow. Feyre's like, what? Now you're telling me? But they were distracted before. Okay, Rhys can just barge in with that information. Feyre, there's a time and a place for you to know things, okay? Get that into your stupid, dumb head.
And I feel like discussing the mating bond was much more important.
Yeah. Totally.
Yes.
They were distracted before, right? She's like, Feyre is so happy in this moment. And to realize she's going to have a future with Rhys, that she starts to glow. Like, oh my God, what is this now? She's shining like a star. The yin to Rhys's yang, blah, blah, blah. Things start to get a little heated again. Feyre's like, is this glow power from the day court? And Rhys is like, I don't care. Shut up. And removes the glamour from himself. Yeah. Rhys is all glittering ebony power. They do it again because duh. Although I was confused here because the position she says they're in, he's like behind her. And Feyre's like, she says she can see where they're joined. And I was like, how? That's literally impossible. But whatever, magic, I guess.
I was like, are you double jointed?
Yeah.
In your neck? Like did you transfigure yourself? Did you give yourself a giraffe neck? What is happening? I couldn't figure it out either.
I can't imagine how you could see that, but
no.
Yeah. All right, well, afterward, Rhys is like, we have to make sure you can control your happy light. Feyre only loses control of her shadow magic when she's pissed. But since Rhys plans to make Feyre happy all the time, she's going to have to control her new glow. I was like, that's so sweet.
So cute.
Yeah, so they keep doing it like sex crazed lunatics, but it's not their fault. It's the bond. Okay. It's normal. Also, warning, Rhys might be a little on edge because of this new bond acceptance. Rhys has seen males of reason and education shatter a room because another male looked too long in that mate's direction too soon after they'd mated. Wow, Rhys, you just said a lot of triggering stuff right there. Who else shatters rooms that we know?
Oh, I know it is interesting that because she's seen him do other scary things before and did not really have much of a reaction to him doing those things. And so maybe she's just like thinking of it as like, oh, this is a show of possession that I'm okay
Mm-hmm.
with. I don't know, but it is kind
Yeah.
of an
I don't know.
interesting, like,
Right. I think
yeah,
for a second she like tenses up, right? She like remembers Tamlin doing that. She's like, oh no. But then I think she's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Then they have a dumb conversation about pregnancy. There is like, isn't it my duty to bear your offspring since you're a high lord and I'm your mate? Feyre, are you trying to rage bait me right now? Like, when have you ever gotten that impression?
I know, right? What the fuck?
Over here, Rhys agrees with me. He's like, rude. We don't have kids unless you want to. Plus, there's about to be a war. That would suck. But also, if we ever did have kids, I'd be super happy about it. And Vera's like, yeah, I'd like to live a little first. Plus, I want you all to myself for a while. My initial thought was, yes, thank God, you're 20. You get to live forever. Please do not rush, even though I'm sure you will. And then I was like, but I kind of all shake out, like either way, because you'll still have a million years after your kid grows up. You're immortal. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
I know that was my exact argument. The only thing I could think of though is that like once you're a mother, you're always going to be worrying about your kids. So maybe you could just
Yeah,
wait
that's
a little
true. Right.
while
Right.
until you yeah. Yeah.
Yes. A mother is
Yeah.
only as happy as her unhappiest child.
Yes.
uh, anyway, whatever. Rhys would also be happy if they never had kids and he got Feyre all to himself forever.
Oh, Reese.
Love that. Rhys winnows Feyre back to the Illyrian camp. The second Rhys sees Cassian, he is in defensive mate mode. And literally every other Illyrian in the camp pieces out. They grab their wives or whatever and they all fly away. Cassian goads Rhys into fighting so Rhys can let off some steam.
I cackled at this part. Cassian says, Feyre doesn't look too tired. Maybe she can give me a ride. Then Rhys explodes and tackles him. Like, oh my god. So
yeah, he's just trying to, just fucking with him.
Yeah, so funny. Yeah.
I mean, two hot guys fighting. What kind of book are we in? Feyre's like, now kiss. Oh, just kidding. That was me. Moore welcomes Feyre to the family, and Rhys and Cassian, they fight for like an hour. And the second they come inside, Cassian and Moore are like, bye. They leave, and Rhys, bloody and filthy, bends Feyre over the kitchen table. It's kind of gross. Whatever. They love it. They both love it. Good for you guys. Afterward, Rhys is feeling better, and they go back to Velaris. When Feyre and Rhys walk into the townhouse, Moore, Azriel, Amren, and Cassian stand as one and bow to Feyre. Amren says, we will serve and protect, and they each place a hand over their heart. Feyre's like, my family.
Oh, the found family trope when the main character has a terrible family. Just 12 out of 10. Love it. Yep.
Me.
Make your own family. Yeah.
Yeah. Amren congratulates Feyre on killing those hybern beasts in the forest and saving Rhys, and they all have dinner, and then they leave for the mortal lands.
Only the eldest and the pretty golden-haired queens were the ones to come and meet them this time at the Archeron estate. That way.
Yes.
Feyre is dressed in her Court of Nightmares garb, and she's wearing her gold-feathered diadem. Diadem?
I say diadem? I thought that's
diadem.
That's how they say it in Harry Potter, right?
I know, but they've got a British accent, so sometimes I don't know if I'm saying it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but first, her diadem, it sounds exactly like it matches Rhys's black feathered crown that he wears. I wonder how that connection was not made sooner, that they're wearing matching crowns.
Right.
Anyway, And her and Rhys present themselves as a united front holding hands. There's not much of a reaction from the queen seeing this, but the eldest queen claims that they were the only two that came because of the quote unquote grave insult from last time. And she's like side eyeing Nesta when she says this. She's clearly trying to create tension by blaming Nesta from them all not coming, but Feyre knows this is a lie and says, if that is the worst insult any of you have ever received in your lives, I'd say you're in for quite a shock when war comes. The younger queen has a flare of amusement. Maybe it won't be so hard to at least sway her, but maybe not. The young queen questions Rhys winning Feyre's heart, and Feyre says she doesn't think it's a coincidence that the cauldron brought them together on the eve of war. The pretty queen is like, the cauldron? We do not worship such a thing, and we don't want to bring our peoples together. You sound like the children of the blessed. By the way, what happens to them when they cross the wall? Are they prey? Do you deny them exactly what Feyre here has received? Immortality? Rhys is like, seriously, what is the point of this besides just hearing yourself talk? Like,
Yeah. Right. Like, what? These queens suck so hard. Like, why? Why?
they do. They're terrible.
Ugh.
It's pretty tense, and the old queen asks for proof that Rhys has brought to show them. Feyre gives one last try before showing them the Veritas. She says, is my love for the High Lord not proof enough of our good intentions? Doesn't my sister's presence here not speak to you? There is an iron engagement ring upon my sister's finger, and yet she still stands with us. Honestly, Feyre, valiant attempt, but no dice. That pretty queen says that this shows more about their stupidity than anything.
No,
Like,
you didn't.
what is your deal?
Dude, I
Nesta,
know.
yeah, she's about ready to, she's raging. She goes on the offense here after this, but the young queen is like, "Ugh, she doesn't even go here." Like, she's all pissed off that Nesta
Yeah.
and Elaine are like even there in the meeting.
Yeah.
And before things get too heated, Feyre says that they're allowing them to use their home as a meeting place. Her sisters can hear everything that's being said. Feyre really doesn't want more to show them the Veritas, but Rhys calms her through the bond that Velaris is worth the risk in order to save the rest of Prythian. Moore says, quote, this is the Veritas, the gift of my first ancestor to our bloodline. Only a few times in the history of Prythian have we used it, have we unleashed the truth upon the world. Truth is deadly. Truth is freedom. Truth can break and mend and bind. The Veritas hold the truth of the world. I am the Morrigan. You know I speak the truth. There's so much to unpack about that, about more, but I gotta just lock it in and just save it
Right.
for
And we
later.
know you
But
speak the truth more. Like, do we though?
do you?
Do we? Do you speak the
Mhm.
truth? I also really
Mhm.
love like the Morrigan.
The
That's
Morrigan.
her name.
I know it's like having a single name and just being famous, like Cher or Prince.
Right.
It's just
But being like, I am the
the.
share.
Yeah, that's true. But it sounds like it's like those college football from the Ohio State University,
Right.
like those intros.
Yes.
Rhys shows them Velaris in the Veritas, stating that it's a city of prosperity and art and peace. It's shown in the Veritas from a bird's eye view, like Rhys is projecting what it looks like to fly over the city. Feyre feels like there is love of the city coming through the Veritas, and Rhys explains his own family's history and secrecy of the city and the role that he's played to portray the ruler of the Court of Nightmares. The queens are in shock, but refuse to commit at this moment. Moore tries to push them. There's not a lot of time for them to think about this, but they want to go back and discuss with the other queens that didn't come. Rhys tries to push them, but the eldest queen mocks him with the letter that he had sent weeks ago. It was a love letter about Feyre, trying to convince them not just for their sake, but so that there could be a better world between the Fae and the humans, and so Feyre could safely be with her family. Feyre is swooning over this. He wrote this letter to them before they had officially mated. Like she feels like he's doing all of this for her, to protect her and to protect her sisters and her family on the other
Mhm.
side of the wall. The old crone says, how do they know that Rhys isn't just playing some kind of mind trick on them? Is this even really the Morrigan? How do we know that this isn't some large manipulation? They came to accept the information that Rhys was willing to give them, and they knew they were going to decline no matter what. They're absolute jerks.
Right. I
God.
was like, "Oh my
Mm,
god, fuck you." Like, why even meet at all? I was starting to get, like,
right.
so suspicious of them too. Like,
Right.
the
What?
fuck?
And like, oh, only two of you came. Like, there's lots of things that are
Mhm.
not adding up, right?
Yeah.
Moore is shocked that they don't believe her, and Nesta is livid. Nesta starts demanding that they give the inner circle the other half of the book. There are innocent people here. Like, all they're trying to do is protect, them from the wall coming down and all that.
Mhm.
The old queen says that they could try to evacuate, but Nesta protests that they would need thousands of ships to get the humans off of their side of the wall. Nesta cracks a little here and she begs them for help. Everyone is pretty floored by this because it's pretty uncharacteristic of Nesta to be this upset and
Mhm.
pleading. And Cassian walks up to Nesta and says, 500 years ago, I fought on battlefields not far from this house. I fought beside human and fairy alike, bled beside them. I will stand on that battlefield again, Nesta Archeron, to protect this house, your people. I can think of no better way to end my existence than to defend those who need it most. A tear slips down Nesta's cheek, and Cassian wipes it away. Oh my god. Feckin' swoon, Cassian. Oh my god.
Cassian.
Oh my
That was
god. Wow. That was quite the little declaration there. Ooh. Moore then tries to offer the queens payment to get the book, but nope. Those bitchy queens leave and tell them that they have to discuss with everyone else, and they kind of smirk at them. So basically, they just gave up information on Velaris for nothing, it seems. As the queens winnow away, a box is left on the chair that the young queen had been previously sitting at.
woohoo!
Rhys knew that she left it. He had clearly stopped talking and trying to convince them mid conversation because he knew that she had left it. A note sat inside the box, which read, I read your letter about the woman you love. I believe you, and I believe in peace. I believe in a better world. If anyone asks, you stole this during the meeting. Do not trust the others. The sixth queen was not ill.
Ooh.
Inside the box is the other half of the book.
Praise be. Also, I knew they were
Mhm.
corrupt, those
I
bitches.
know.
And then I was like, "God, you did it for nothing." I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing. Well, maybe the queen wouldn't have left the book if she hadn't seen Velaris, the nice
Right,
one, I
that's true.
guess.
Maybe she brought it as like a game time decision, see what they have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
and yeah. I mean, it sounds like she was already convinced, at least by that initial letter that Rhys
Mhm.
sent, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rhys offers to bring Nesta and Elaine back to Prythian with them to keep them safe, but Elaine doesn't want to leave her betrothed behind, and Nesta won't leave Elaine, so they're gonna stay. Plus,
Yeah.
Papa Archeron is across the seas. They have no idea when he's gonna be coming back, but I think it'd be pretty weird to return back to an
Right,
empty
right,
manor
yeah.
with like no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Um, but Rhys does offer to leave some sentries to help protect them. Nesta is appreciative and says to Feyre, huh, that was why you painted stars on your drawer. Sorry if I sound like a freaking chipmunk every time I do that, but oh my god. Nesta lore. Can't wait to discuss it
Yeah.
even more. They quickly return to Velaris and get Amryn the other half of the book. But 2 days later, Amryn still has not cracked the code, and Rhys and Moore return to the Court of Nightmares to return the Veritas before Kier noticed it missing.
I was like, before you notice it missing, it's been gone for so long.
I know he was injured though, so I don't
Oh, yeah,
know
I
if
guess
he,
that's
you know
true.
what I mean? He just
Right, right,
maybe
right.
they were hoping that, and I think that's
Yeah.
why Rhys told him he couldn't see a healer or let himself heal,
Mm.
like with,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I guess if
But
no one ever uses it, I mean, it's maybe it's,
yeah,
like,
it's
locked
probably
away
like,
and no one ever
I know
looks
you,
for it.
yeah, it's like in a safe or something. I don't know. It's not a safe. It's a magical
Mm,
something.
right.
But
It's on a weird I'm imagining it like it's in, like, a room on a plinth in the middle and, like, light
mhm.
shines down on it and just, like, chills in
Ah,
there. Yeah.
yes, like the in Aladdin, like
Oh,
it's
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
sitting right there. The lamp, the
Yes.
lamp. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So Cassian is writing the Illyrian warriors to prepare for battle, and Azrael is monitoring his spies to see if anything new comes about. No word from the queens, even about the missing book. They haven't even reached out to be like, "Where's our book?"
Mm,
Or if Nesta
yeah.
and Elaine had changed their minds to come to Prythian, so they were kind of hoping that maybe they would send word. Feyre and Rhys are communicating via their disappearing letters. And Feyre wants to know how to make sure Cassian and Azriel know that she doesn't mind their company, but she doesn't want to feel like they're guarding her. So Rhys tells her to set boundaries and to not let them cross them, but they're going to protect her because she's Rhys's mate, no matter what. She says, "You Illyrian males are insufferable." And Rhys responds back, "Good thing we make up for it with impressive wingspans." This is just for you. I included that. And Feyre insinuates that she's missing that wingspan. And Rhys says, "Oh, of course you do." I mean, I think this like cute back and forth the disappearing letter is what I think is cute, not necessarily
Right.
But
Because
yeah.
yeah, I was looking back. She says, "I'm missing that impressive wingspan in my bed inside me." What? I know you can't possibly mean that, but like it sounds like
Sounds
it.
like yeah. That's so funny. The next day, with everybody else busy, Feyre and Cassian go to a symphony on the other side of Velaris. As they're walking back and talking about what they thought of the performance, Feyre is looking into the Sidra River and notes how she can feel the water below and its currents. Feyre thanks Cassian for what he promised Nesta the other day, and while Cassian says he'd do it for anyone, Feyre tells him just how much it meant to her and likely to Nesta. Feyre says, "Nesta feels everything, sees too much, sees and feels it all, and she burns with it. Keeping that wall up helps from being overwhelmed." Cassian isn't so sure Nesta cares for anything besides Elaine, but Feyre says, "She will never be like Moore," I said. "She will never love freely and gift it to everyone who crosses her path, but the few she does care for, I think Nesta would shred the world apart for them, shred herself apart for them. She and I have our issues, but Elaine," my mouth quirks to the side, "she will never forget, Cassian, that you offered to defend Elaine, defend her people. As long as she lives, she will remember that kindness." Cassian's like, cool. Bear's like, "I'm just trying to explain Nesta to you, okay? For the next time you cross paths, just giving you some background on Nesta." Mhm.
Whatever,
All this
Feyre.
all of a sudden, the water below them starts to tremble as if shuddering and flowing away from the sea. Cassian starts to ready his siphons, and on the horizon, out over the water, a smear of black can be seen. They can't figure out what they are, but they know that this is bad. Cassian wants to get them back to the townhouse, but Feyre wants to raise the alarm and go get Azriel and Amren. The Maas is winged flying creatures holding additional soldiers, and they begin shooting arrows at the citizens of Velaris. Feyre starts thinking of all the ways that she can take them down. And I'm like, yes, Feyre, let's fucking go. Yes, I'm so
Destroy them. Yeah.
And Cassian uses the power from one of his siphons to try to create a shield, like wall type thing to protect the city. I'm thinking of like a dome. He's like creating a dome in the middle, or
Yeah.
yeah. These winged creatures are all just like the adder. They have long limbs and gray skin with serpentine snouts and razor sharp teeth. Their arms are covered in gauntlets inlaid with those bluish stones that look very similar to the material that Rhys had been chained up to. And those stones and those gauntlets cut right through the barrier that Cassian had put up. Cassian tries to get Feyre to go back to the townhouse, but the adder-like creatures break through his defenses, and he tackles Feyre to the ground in order to protect her. He kind of jumps and lands on top of her to protect her from them. They look up and see that pretty young queen impaled, still twitching on one of the lampposts flanking the bridge that they're on. Her hair was shorn down to her skin, and her eyes had been plucked out. The adder swoops down and says that the young queen is a gift from the other queens. And Jurian. Yep, Jurian is alive, apparently.
I knew it. Those queens were betrayers. Look, Feyre. Actual traitors.
Yeah, that's what this looks like. That's a real thing. Cassian flies after the adder with the final order of Feyre to return to the townhouse. Feyre thinks about trying to save the queen, but feels her death pass before she can go and try and save her. The winged Fae are dropping lesser Fae onto the ground to fight. Feyre starts to head back towards the townhouse and starts thinking of all the Velarrians she could pull into the townhouse and save them because it is so heavily warded. Like, if she could just get back there and start pulling people in, she could try to save more of them. And as Feyre is running, she's seeing the blood and destruction that the mortal queen's backstabbing has caused, and she is overcome with grief that this beautiful city has been breached, and thinks, after finding out about the location, that Hybern must have used the cauldron to break the wards.
Yes.
She's
Like so infuriating. You know what I mean? You're just like,
Yes.
God.
Yeah. She sees Cassian and Azriel fighting alongside each other in the skies with twin blue and red light shooting from their siphons, and their power is quite literally melting the aerial Hybern forces, and random chunks of body parts are falling to the ground.
Ew.
It is gross. Yeah.
Yucky.
Faye returns and sees the artist quarter is burning, and that it looks like the adder and his legion went straight there, as if they knew where the city was most beautiful and vulnerable. Maybe.
Yeah.
Feyre.
They're just really trying to stick it to Feyre.
Yeah, I think so. Feyre hears a boom and looks to her other side to see Amren fighting as well. Amren simply would raise her hands toward the attackers, and they would fall as if their wings had failed them, and they would slam into the streets, thrashing, choking, shrieking against unseen wounds. Yeah, Amren's scary as fuck.
Phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty living space in her little Fae body.
Mm-hmm. Feyre hears screaming from the artist quarter again and knows that she has to go to try and help. All of her friends are doing it, so she's like, I'm
Right.
doing it too. Feyre becomes darkness and shadow and winnows to the edge of the rainbow, which is the artist quarter, and begins beheading all of the Hybern soldiers within reach with her Illyrian blade. She realizes that there's too many soldiers for her to take on alone, so she runs back to the Sidra River and channels her water magic to make the river swell and forges the water into wolves, and she leads the charge against the Hybern soldiers. So she's like, think of, we're just going to go back to another Lord of the Rings reference here and just think about, oh my gosh, what's her name? And the water horses coming down the river.
Yeah.
In,
Arwen.
yes. Yeah.
Arwen and Domia.
Yes. And her blade takes down just as many of her water wolves are drowning. As some of the soldiers attempted to take flight to flee, Feyre gave her water wolves wings to become hawks and eagles and try to chase them down. When the flying Fae got far enough out of reach of her water hawks, but they were soaking wet, Feyre turned that water clinging to them into ice and freezing them solid so that when they hit the ground, they shattered.
I love it.
It's amazing. Feyre sees the adder in the rubble in midst of those that she had killed trying to get away. It evades her water hawks, and Feyre can't let it make it back to Hybern. Down the bond, Feyre can hear Rhys calling for her and asking where she is.
Okay, but he's like desperately yelling for her.
Yes,
I was like,
he's like over. He's like Feyre. He's like trying to find her, and he's yelling. Yeah,
like desperately. Yep.
Yes. He's like, "Where are you?" You know that.
He's like screaming it. It's all in caps.
She tells Rhys she's exactly where she needs to be. She grabs a handful of ash arrows and winnows to a rooftop to try to track down the adder, and has to fortify her mental shield so she can focus because she still can hear Rhys screaming for her. However, in the distance, Feyre can see a mighty darkness devouring the world and any Hybern soldiers in its path. Her mate is here to protect the city, but the adder is hers.
Let's burn the world.
Feyre uses her Daemati powers to find the adder mind to mind and winnows to be right on top of it and stabs the ash arrows through both of its wings and wraps herself around the adder, and she became a living flame that burned everything she touched. The adder is shrieking in pain, but Feyre will not let go, and they are in a free fall towards the ground. Feyre pulls out her dagger and she starts stabbing the adder. The first stab is for Rhys. The second is for Claire, and then the final stab is for Feyre. She winnowed away just as the adder hit the ground. She hears the crunch it makes on the ground while in that pocket of darkness as she's winnowing away, and she lands and like flies into the wall of a building, and as she's slamming into it, she like cracks the building wall. She's like flung herself away from it. The shadows of night reach her, and while she's blanketed in the darkness, she can hear like grunting and yelps, like the shadows are sussing out and finding any leftover Hybern soldiers that had remained. Then the shadows are lifted, and Rhys is there, standing in front of her. He's out of breath. He just probably used a ton of his magic, and
Yeah.
he gives her a quick kiss, and it's to just try to ground both of them. Fae were crying all around them, no longer in the clutches of fear, but in sorrow. And Rhys calls Feyre Cursebreaker, the defender of the rainbow. And Feyre breaks down to cry. And even as his city wailed, the High Lord of the Night Court held me until I could at least face this blood-drenched new world. Okay, this is it. This is Feyre's turning point. She fought. She came out successful. This is exactly what she needed. Like, you are totally fine to have strong feelings about this. You did some pretty crazy stuff, but look at how good you did.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Like chills. I have chills.
Oh, you did so good, Feyre.
It's so good.
The wards that the cauldron took down are back in place. Velaris is secure, but all of the inner circle is weary and exhausted. Rhys tells Feyre that Amren was spinning illusions into the soldiers' minds to make them think that they were drowning, that they began to dive toward the city only to find the ground immediately there. And the worst of them, she unleashed their own nightmares, and they died of pure terror. Amren is literally the boogeyman.
Yeah. And I feel like she should be utilized more. But I mean, I guess she is. Maybe we're just not privy to it. But it's like, why is anybody else doing anything? She's like, there you go, Amren. Take care of
And
that.
where
please.
was she 500 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
maybe she was still in the prison.
She might have been, or she might have just been not beholden or tied to any court at that time, too.
Right. Yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know exactly, but Cassian says, okay, the wards are up again, but how long can we really protect this place? How long until Hybern attempts to attack again? It gets kind of quiet, but it's concluded that they'll all have to go and try to destroy the cauldron. Amren offers to stay back to defend the city. Just based on that, I think she'd do a pretty good job if necessary.
Right.
For now, they need to rest and regroup, though. When Rhys doesn't come to bed, Feyre goes to find him on the roof. Rhys is sad and looking at how few lights of the city are on tonight. Feyre tries to tell him that the attack isn't his fault, but he says he's not sure if he's more mad at the queens, the king, or himself for what had happened. He then looks at Feyre and says that she shut him out and it worried him. But her shield that she built was impressive since even he couldn't breach it at all. And he's impressed by what she did to the adder. She's like, but are you mad at me? He says, quote, how could I scold you for defending my people? I wanted to throttle you, yes, for not going back to the townhouse, but you chose to fight for them. For Velaris, I don't deserve you. She just defended the thing that Rhys loves most, and he is thanking her and not berating her for being in danger, even though he clearly didn't like it. It was just refreshing.
Yes.
To hear from the reader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do take issue, though, with him saying he doesn't deserve her, but
I know. Please. Gosh, both of you. I don't deserve you. No, I don't deserve you more. No, I don't deserve you more. Like that would be the argument that they would have had. But Feyre tells them that they do deserve each other. See? Come on.
But that's a big, for Feyre, though, like that's a big step for her.
Yeah. And they deserve to be happy. Another huge step for her. Good job, Feyre.
Yeah.
So Rhys shows her how much he loves her there on the rooftop. The end. Amren is able to crack the code in the book. To nullify the cauldron's powers, Feyre needs to touch the cauldron and speak a specific phrase. Amren is sure this will work. Don't test her, though. Dang it. Moore
Yeah.
wants to know what will happen if the two halves of the book are brought together, but Amren warns strongly against letting that happen. The power that would blast would be felt in all corners of the world and bring the attention not only of Hybern, but of, quote, potentially older and more wretched enemies, things that have been long asleep and should remain so. Who and what, Amren? Who and what? And also, why is Moore so curious about the book? Every little thing makes me suspicious when she's like in the room. She's like, she's cagey and she wants to ask weird questions and know things. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
100%. And I'm like, why does everything have to be so cryptic? Like, just tell
Ugh.
us what's actually going on.
It seems that Azrael spies have at least found where they're sure that the cauldron is located within Hybern's castle. The plan is for Rhys and Moore to winnow themselves with Cassian, Azrael, and Feyre close to the island and have Rhys stay close to the coast of Prythian and to be close enough to help if needed, but not be sensed by Hybern himself.
Yeah. I was confused by this part because Cassian says to Rhys at the beginning of this conversation, since you can't winnow without being tracked, Moore and Az will winnow us all in. And then Moore goes, but the King of Hybern would notice Rhys is present the moment he arrives. I thought he was also going to be like just like in the ocean, kind of
Right.
just like floating around.
Floating. Yeah.
Or did like flying, I guess. And then I was like, what? How? If he doesn't winnow, like that's the whole point of him not using his magic or whatever. But then Cassian says to Moore, so you and Rhys will winnow us in off the coast. And then after all this at the end, they say, if Feyre can't nullify the cauldron, Feyre will call to Rhys through the bond and you and Moore winnow us out. And I was like, why is it so inconsistent? You said at the very beginning, Rhys can't do it. And then you were saying he was going to winnow you in.
And I was almost just like, I just think that the original thought process, like I do get it. Like there's, at first I was like, were you trying to say that Moore winnows everyone and Rhys hangs out? And then if and when he's needed, there's some type of signal that they're going to send out? Batman, maybe? I don't know.
Right.
But just the,
well,
so
Feyre
that
through
then,
the bond, I guess.
yes. Or just something like there's a signal so that then if he winnows to come get them so that like he can grab two people and Moore can grab two people, then they can winnow away quickly, or
Right.
something like that.
The end makes sense.
At the end, yes. But getting there, yeah.
Yeah. So
Because like you said, then he's using his powers to go there. And then if they're tracking him, they're going to be like, why are you getting closer to our shores, even if you're not really here, Yeah.
Telling you, I need to be a copy editor. Listen, if anyone's listening and you have a job for me, thank you.
Gladly will read books to help you with this. Overall, though, this plan is very risky, and there's some serious time variables to contend with, but it's the best chance that they have. Hopefully, they can get in, destabilize the cauldron, and be back to Rhys before they're even noticed. Rhys does not like this plan. His mate is going into an enemy stronghold without him. He does not like that at all. But Azrael reasons that he'll be close enough to winnow in and collect them once Feyre gives the all clear. And him winnowing just to pick them up after they've completed their task should give them plenty of time. So it's just kind of like, yes, like what we were just talking about, like the end of their plan makes sense. The initial conversation did not, though.
Yeah.
Rhys leaves the decision up to Feyre. Feyre says, I realized how badly I had been treated before. If my standards had become so low, if the freedom to make my own decisions I'd been granted felt like a privilege and not like an inherent right.
Taking a really fucking long time, but I'm glad we're here.
We're here. Finally. Feyre is swooning so hard for Rhys, giving her this choice, as are we, and so glad that she's had this realization. He goes further, saying it will always be her choice in what she does forever. Feyre looks at them all and is imagining a future she hopes will come true and says, let's go to Hybern. Feyre is going to bed and starts having this internal dilemma about which room to go to since her and Tamlin had previously kept separate quarters. Like even when they were together in the Spring Court, they didn't stay in the same room, right?
Right. And she was like,
however,
wondering what was going to happen after they got married. She still didn't know.
Are we going to be separate still? And like Feyre, Rhys, we've gone over this. Rhys gave you all this information that you have choices in your life. If you want to go to Rhys's room, just freaking go to his room. And if he doesn't want you there, he'll tell you. Like, I don't know why this is so confusing. But anyway, he sneaks up on her and he essentially tells her just that. He doesn't care which room she picks, but they're staying together from now on. Just let him know which one of their clothes needs to be removed. Feyre's like, don't you want your own space? And Rhys says, no, unless you do. I need you protecting me from our enemies with your water wolves, which was just silly. But she goes, okay, well, your bed's bigger. So just like that, Rhys's room it is. As they enter his room, her clothes are already there, and there's a small box on his desk. He urges her to open it, and inside is the star sapphire ring that she retrieved from the weaver. Big long quote here as well. My mother gave me that ring to remind me she was always with me, even during the worst of my training. And when I reached my majority, she took it away. It was an heirloom of her family, had been handed down from female to female over many, many years. My sister wasn't yet born, so she wouldn't have known to give it to her, but my mother gave it to the weaver. And then she told me that if I were to marry or to mate, then the female would either have to be smart or strong enough to get it back. And if the female wasn't either of those things, then she wouldn't survive the marriage. I promised my mother that any potential bride or mate would have the test, and so it sat there for centuries.
Dumbledore.
Can you imagine having to go through like a death trial to get your wedding ring? Like,
Yeah.
silly.
So-
Feyre is floored. She went and retrieved her own engagement ring, but Rhys only wants her to wear it if she wants to. She has some concerns wearing it on their adventure to Hybern and if their mating bond is going to be dangerous for them. Like if she's caught. So she tells Rhys, after we nullify the cauldron, I want to do it all. Get the bond declared, get married, throw a stupid party, and invite everyone in Velaris. I want all of it. Rhys wants to know what she thinks about going a step beyond that.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. And you'll have to wait to find out what that is next week.
I
On.
know. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna stop right here. We're halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got a lot of this is kind of like a. I mean, I guess the Velaris was attacked, but
Yes.
seems
Yeah.
like a not a ton.
It was a little bit more info.
As I say that, but I'm like,
Yeah. a lot of background info on Rhys. You know, we didn't get into the nitty-gritty details, but they are mates and they consummated that bond officially.
yeah, it feels good to know like the full story
Mm-hmm.
of
It does.
you know, all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, just imagining, you know how like in a workplace when they had that board and it's like this many days since the last accident, and now Velaris has to like erase their 5,000 years and be like
Oh my gosh, I know.
number of years since we've been breached.
I
It's a real
know.
bummer.
This point of this book was the turning point for Feyre in so many things, with her emotional trauma that she's gone through, with figuring out how to fight and defend herself and wanting to be more of a fighter in general, and just coming to terms with everything that's happened with Rhys and being more accepting of what their future is going to look like. And just, it was a big, it felt like not a lot of action happened. I mean, the Velaris getting attacked was a pretty big deal, but it also felt like the majority of this was really just Feyre figuring stuff out finally. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Speaking of action, that is next. The crazy part is that like the last chapters, it's 61 through 69, literally so much. Anyway, so
Yeah.
stay tuned. Come back next week. All right. We're almost done with this book, you guys.
So close. We're so close.
Yes.
Just one more chunk left. We can do it. Can't wait.
Yes, yes, yes. All right.
Yes.
Yes, we do. We do love you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.